So it's a wet and windy one today, and God, what a difference in weather. It's completely muggy and the clouds are heavy today. So we've had a lot of rain and everything's wet and muddy. The raspberries are starting to come back to life now. So future crops are on their way. The rhubarb, honestly, the rhubarb and the hyacinths have just gone wild that I've planted over here. Let me show you. So the rhubarb is proper bedding in really well now, and if you can see these lovely hyacinths, they're absolutely loving the fact that they've had a lot of rain, good watering, and they're loving it under this tree. So I've come up with today, I think I'm going to go down to the Grapevine Garden, pick up a few buckets, and I think I'm going to start some swift potatoes in buckets in the Polytunnel. Should give it me another week or two earlier than I would plan. I am going to grow a lot of it in buckets. I am going to grow some outside this year. But yeah, let's go get some buckets and let's start that off first. And I'm going to show you everything that I've sown already and what I've got planned, because wait till you see what I've done in there. I've done so much. So far I've done my sweet peas, I've done some flowers, I've also did some extra lettuces, rocket, all-year collie, these beautiful white cabbage, the Sonsima F1. So I'm looking forward to them. They're looking really healthy. I've also got some, what else have I got here? Cosmos. Got some cosmos in. I've got some kohlrabi, some giant kohlrabi. These are my spears. These are some shallots that Mark gave me. I also got some red Florence onions here, and these are my perennials. So I've got perennial Babington leeks. So these are perennial leeks that you can just plant out and just keep cutting coming again, years to come. Welsh onions, you can do the same thing again, chop them off, they'll keep coming again. And also some wild garlic, which I know I'm gonna have to put in some kind of sealed unit, you know, a bit like mint, because I don't want it to spread, because I know it's a bit of a nightmare when it does that. I wouldn't mind it so much at the back, but I think I'm going to try and contain it a bit. But I do want wild garlic here. I've also sown some of Robin's zinnias and Ali zinnias. Nothing's come up yet though. I might need to give them a little bit of a water up there. And I've also got some extra flowers here, nasturtiums. Robin's snapdragons are under there, but I've put this bit of plastic on because I want it to keep a little bit warmer than usual. I've also got some giant swede for my giant swede challenge. So I've had message after message about the giant swede challenge. So I have got a challenge coming up. I'll put the hashtag here now. If you want to join, all you need to do is you need to just sow some swedes whenever you want. There's not many rules to it, but they will be harvested on October the 31st. And you just post them on your social medias, hashtag me into them, or post them onto my Facebook page, my Instagram, or you can email me them as well, so I can put them on a dedicated video. It's starting to rain now. But yeah, so all you need to do is plant some swede, and there's a competition for a bit of fun is the biggest swede and also the heaviest swede. So good luck guys, I'd love it if you wanted to join in. It's a bit of fun. I know so many have already joined, and I'm overwhelmed that so many have already said that they're joining, they've sown in, they're hashtagging me, they're sharing it on my Instagram and all. So well done for everyone who's already joined. But if you want to join, grow some swede, they're amazing. I've got quite a few growing. I've also got some Marion swede here, and I've also got some swede tweed F1. I'm pretty sure I got some other swedes as well somewhere. I'm also got some Brendan F1 sprouts. Charles Dowding recommended these ones. So if you're looking for a good sprout, this is what the main man says. I've also done some Durham early cabbages. My potatoes are in here because we did have a bit of frost. So I've got Charlotte and I've also got Swift. So they're going to go in. These are also the seed potatoes that I had from Steve House sent me last year, some Condo. I had a bit of a poor harvest due to all that heat we had, but I've got a few. This one looks a bit like a gonk really, but yeah, I've got a few of these and they're chitting away, so I'm going to I'm going to plant those and hopefully I'll get a better harvest from them this year. I've also done this. I've put 10 baskets all the way across here now, ready for my strawberries. Some of them might be flowers as well, but we shall see. But I put manure in the bottom, compost on the top, and then I put my extra spare runners that I've got in all of these. and I'll get an early harvest. Right, let's waffling on. I need to go over now to the shed. I need to put a water butt on there. I've got one in the shed. I need to fit it. I put the guttering up already yesterday, and I definitely need some source of water here. So I've got this already, this IBC that I brought it from the Grapevine Garden. It was, you know, it was ready for this plot. I'm tempted to connect it to the Polytunnel. I know a few YouTubers have done that, but I'm still tempted. But I also need to get some water up here. So for a quick fix, I'm going to fit a watering barrel to the shed, so at least I got some water, because I can't water these. I keep having to bring water over, and it'd be better if I have some rainwater to water the seedlings. Let's get that done. So by now you've probably all seen Malcolm's video of him retiring, and I'm sure a lot of you were shocked that he'd finished his channel. But like I said, you know, all good things come to an end, and I really do wish Malcolm and Mrs. K a happy retirement. And don't worry, I'll still pop up there, and I'm sure I'll give you an update of how they're going on, if they get their shed sorted. So I wouldn't worry about that, so I'm still going to pester them anyway. Right, let's go get these buckets. Oh no. So we've had some disasters at the blooming plot. The greenhouse door's blown off from when we had that storm the other day, and also I forgot to net my cabbages. So yeah, they have been nibbled and nibbled by the pigeons. This one seems to be okay in the middle, so maybe I could net it now, but my own fault. It's nice to see the daffodils coming up though. That's quite a pleasing sight to see from last year. And also some are already coming down the sides as well. The garlic is looking amazing, I must say, giving it that good feed. And we've had all this rain now as well, and that cold, I'm sure it's going to all do the world of good. This one is doused in well-rotted manure. This one's compost. We'll see what happens. Also, this piece of plastic fell down in the storm, and it's flattened all the onions that I planted in here, so hopefully they'll pick up. Oh, the onions, I must say, we've had a few casualties, but overall they are looking lovely. They're pointing upwards, they're looking strong. Danny is one happy boy about those onions. That's the first time I've got them to this stage. They're so finicky, like they're so sensitive, like too much water, not enough water, you know, loads of things that go wrong. Fungus gnats, you know, dampening off, and cold, too much heat. So these ones wasn't attacked. I did foresee this, and for some reason I forgot to do the top ones, but these ones are lovely and protected. They're looking well, and they've got these individual cloches on them, and I absolutely love these. They're really handy to have. I also wondered if the snowdrops would come this year that I planted at the end of the season, and it looks like they are. And also, I can't remember what this one is, so if you know, pop it in the comments. I can't remember what it was called. It's so nice to see those things that you did forget were planted, you know, like the snowdrops, things like that, and it's nice to see that they're all coming back, they're showing life on the plots, and that's what I like to see. Mustn't forget. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to dig up those spring cabbages, take them up to the polytunnel. Hopefully they'll, you know, they'll come to harvest quicker, and I'll have that bed free then as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do now. Well, in fact, that's what I am going to do now. So what I'm going to do is, I've got some well rotted manure here, and I'm going to do 2 buckets of Swift, 2 buckets of Charlotte, so that I'll get a nice earlier crop. Now Swift normally take between, they claim up to 7 to 8 weeks, but realistically there's about 10 weeks that you'll get a harvest. Charlottes I'm going to put in, they're between 15 and 17 weeks from crop, planting to harvest, but I tend to leave them in till 17 weeks so that I've got a good, good sized Charlotte potato. So I'm going to pop those in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 1/3 manure, the rest compost, and then hopefully we'll have some early potatoes. So what I'm going to do is Swifter first early, so I'll put 4 potatoes in 1 bucket, and the same with the Charlottes. Main crop about 2 potatoes. So let's get some in and then we'll have some early spuds. So I'm going to pop the Charlotte at the back because I'll be obviously harvesting the Swifts first. So I'll pop 2 in like so, the Charlottes, like so. Cover them with some compost. And then pop the potatoes the other way round, like so. These haven't been chitted, so now I'm going to do the same for the Swift, and then we're done. So as you can see, the Swift have chitted a bit better, so same rule applies. 2 like so. Face the chits upwards. Compost in. And then the potatoes the same way out. So now I'm on a roll. I think I'll put my strawberries in. Last year I did the same thing. I planted my potatoes and my strawberries at the same time. I tend to just do it as a bit of a habit. At least I know it's done for the polytunnel. I could probably do more potatoes if I wanted to, but I'm still iffing and ahhing because of this cold snap that we've been having. So 4 will be plenty for now. I'll wait another week or so and then I might do more. So I'm steering on the side of caution this year. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got all this bucket full of strawberry runners, and I was going to compost them. If you remember a few weeks ago, I pulled them all out of that bed next to the greenhouse on the Grapevine Garden plot. And then I remembered I had a polytunnel that was coming up in a few weeks' time, and I had plenty of room. I could buy some more baskets and have a good old crop of them here. So I salvaged them. I'm going to plant 3 in each. I've started pruning them, taking off all the dead leaves and all the runners, and then these will be planted in 3 in each basket, and that's what I'm going to do. So to save me water in these buckets, it's only going to drop down as low as 9 degrees tonight. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pop them outside, and then tomorrow morning I'll come back over and I'll bring them back into the polytunnel. At least then they've had the goodness of the rain, it's had a good watering in, and it saves me having to water them as well. So let's get that done. So the strawberries are all planted up, the cabbages are planted in, the potatoes are planted in their buckets. All the seeds that I need to sow so far are out. I think I'm in a good place for gardening right now. The polytunnel has been an absolute godsend. I mean, it's a haven to start everything off. Frost doesn't really hit this area that much, so I'm lucky really. But I've got fleece and everything else will be fine in here, I know. But I posted an extra video on Wednesday if you haven't seen. It's by Here Now, and it's about hydroponics, something different, but it's quite interesting. And if you're interested in that, take a little look. I'm Danny, and this is the Grapevine Garden.